Hey guys, Professor Bill of Comic Book University in Green Arrow issue number 45. Let's just right away get to talking about who made this comic book so that we can talk about the comic itself. Shouldn't be too much there. Draw and Release is the name of this issue. Julie Benson and Shauna Benson are the writers. Javier Fernandez is the artist. John Calise John Calise is the colors, and Bennett is on letters. I can't hardly see this. Sorry, just I'm looking at this digitally. It's not the best image. Alex Maleev did the cover. Carrie Andrews did the variant cover. Dude, Carrie is crossing party lines and going all over the place here, doing all sorts of people's stuff. I'm always bothered that Superman is credited, his creators, and why he's here, and Green Arrow isn't, and a lot of the other guys also. I think it could be done. I don't see what the problem is. Anyhow, so this is basically a funeral issue. We're going to completely just cut the crap with all of the storyline that's happening right now. We're going to interject and just put in a funeral issue because, in case you didn't see Heroes in Crisis last week, Roy did. Yeah, Roy died, man. And that was really sad. He's the character I predicted the entire time that he's the one who's going to die. I didn't say that there was others who were going to die too like that. One in particular, but this one, I expected this guy to die. I expected Roy to die. And there was just so much there between this and between the Red Hood and the Outlaws annual. There was a lot there. Anyway, this was really a beautiful comic book. It was really more about Ollie than anybody else, which I guess that matters. This is the Green Arrow book, and it is about his emotions and him trying to come to terms. You could tell that he was righteous and self-righteous all at the same time. He's a very, very flawed character. That's one of the things I love about him. He's got principles, but he struggles to maintain those principles. You really get to see that in this. He also doesn't like authority. He doesn't like the authoritarian type figures, and he doesn't like the characters who could so easily take that authority, and nobody represents that more than Superman. And a lot of people might not like that about Ollie. Sorry, brother. I don't know why. I get it, Superman, but Superman's the best. But we've also seen Superman Red Sun and so many other Elseworld comics where Superman can go bad. All right, Superman is not immune to being a bad guy. He's simply not. Just look at Injustice, So when you see something to the effect of Ollie and his take on Superman, yeah, he's the best of us. And that could easily switch to the worst of us. And all it takes is, as the Joker would say, one bad day. And he sees that. He recognizes that. And he's always aware of that. So it was easy for him to blame Superman in this. And he's not entirely wrong, but you could tell that he was mostly wrong because he did lash out. It was during a funeral. Way to be selfish and make this all about you. You could say it's about Ollie. Or excuse me, you could say it's about Roy. But it's not when you feel the need to take a swing at, Superman of all people. You have to know you're going to break your fist if he doesn't do that turn away thing, and kind of let your let your hand kind of roll off his face. He could have snapped his freaking arm. How are you gonna take out the Citizen once you broke your arm, all the way back to your shoulder? So yeah, Ollie was just ridiculously stupid in here, but he did let his emotions get the better of him, and he did start blaming an awful lot. But there was the perfect friend who showed up, somebody from one of the sobriety meetings. Actually, one of the people who Roy was a sponsor for showed up and had a quick conversation with Ollie, not realizing probably how much good she was doing. It was really beautiful. I liked it. Donna Troy spoke. Whole bunch of interaction in this one, but for the most part, yeah. Like I said, you could see how you could see how Ollie would take certain subjects, certain subject matter here. And I have to say the worst would have to be Superman. But he also mentioned Bruce. He also mentioned Bruce Wayne by name. Didn't call him Batman. He said Bruce Wayne. He could have just killed everybody's identity right there, man. Bruce Wayne is Batman. I'm mad because Roy's dead. Bruce Wayne is Batman. And you are Clark Kent. All right, so he could have. So he did have some sense about him. But yeah, he tried to take a swing at Superman. He also made threats. People don't usually make threats against people unless they can't unless they know that they're not going to actually do something about it. It's a cowardly thing to verbally make a threat against someone. You know what I'm saying? If you're doing it in anger, I get it. So I'm not calling Ollie a coward at all. But yeah, in general, it's like he said those threats to Superman hoping that he was going to cause a reaction because he knows he couldn't hurt him physically. He tried, and he knows he can't. So instead he tried to say, you don't know what I could do to you. I don't think he's actually going to do anything to him. I don't think that's in Ollie's bag of tricks, so to speak. Oh, it is. He could, but he won't. I don't think he will. He had that little conversation with that woman, and there was some good zen. He got very zen, which is good for an archer, right? He got very zen, and that was a good thing for him. So even though this was the Roy funeral, this was easily an Ollie book, and we kind of needed it. I think we kind of needed that because it's good to kind of try to remind us that Ollie strives for perfection, but he is so far from the mark. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, good book. Really good, enjoyable book. I think that this was about as necessary gets. And they didn't have to do it clearly. They could have just been like, oh, yeah, here's in Crisis, whatever. Well, they'll deal with it there. Let Tom King deal with it, all right? They could have done a tie-in or something like that. Nope, wasn't even that. It was just as simple as, wow, let's interrupt our story to have a funeral because it shouldn't really take that long. And it didn't. It didn't. This could have been like a quick little 2-hour event, and it's over. Good book. I'm glad that we got it. Man, that cover. I was tempted, but I went digital. All right, guys, that's it for me. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.